Good day, guys, and welcome back to this week's Market Watch. And I hope you have had a great weekend and looking forward to the week to come. And obviously the holiday season is going to be kicking in soon. So try and take this time to possibly start easing off the risk in the markets and then start focusing on 2022. So guys, let's get into it and have a look at this week's bit of news and then going through our market analysis. And just obviously, if you have been following the charts, you can see that some of the news that we've been having is that Bitcoin and most of the cryptocurrencies had a drastic decline in price. Okay, now that could be just due to a few factors. One being, this new coronavirus, this new spread. We don't know, obviously know the more in depth about it. I know South Africa got quite a bit of a hit. Africa in general, we got cut off. We got travel bans. So that hasn't had a good, foresight on the economy as yet. So it says here on our Cointelegraph, Bitcoin could consolidate until 2022 after mass wipeout sends BTC price to 41,000. Now, if you have a look at that figure there, 2.5 billion liquidated across cryptocurrency in mass rout, which sends Bitcoin price back to end of September, right? So a big push, and it shows you it's a typical thing. And when we get to the charts, I will show you as well what I mean about, obviously the risks dealing with anything, with trading in general, whether it be in crypto or stocks or Forex. There's always that risk. So it says yeah that liquidations were 2.5 billion as panic sets in, leverage positions unwound and traders capitulated. 24-hour across crypto liquidations passing 2.5 billion, and that's ridiculous. It's crazy to show you that risk, what we're involved in. Even though you might be buying at the top, in 24 hours that can just be taken out very, very quick. So what do? Well, I think we just need to just wait until price has to settle. We have to settle again with what happens here. The scale of the dip wiped out some important support levels, including Bitcoin's 1 trillion asset valuation, previously a popular choice for long bets. Now, are we in a bull market? We are currently, but when something declines quickly like this, we need to just take a step back. And possibly, as it says, this news says we could be into a bit of consolidation now going into 2022. I don't think there will be much going in towards the end of 2021. And I don't see us making a new high, definitely by the end of 2021. And my bets as for last week's analysis, if you haven't checked it out, please like and subscribe our chat page. And as I mentioned there, we could be in for a more bearish downside movement, and this is exactly what has happened. So we need to, just take a little bit step back and have a look at the markets, which we'll get to now. Crypto.com, cryptonews.com also has the same thing. Bitcoin, Ethereum rebound slightly bit better after a crash. Okay, and we see that even El Salvador has bought more crypto as this price has dropped down. Remember, El Salvador are one of the first places that are adopting the crypto, adopting Bitcoin. Okay, again, have a look at our past week's videos. So it says here that also 2.5 billion trading positions were wiped out in 24 hours. Ethereum performed slightly better, okay, than the other coins. And it says that even El Salvador's president said the country had again bought the dip, adding BTC 150. Okay, the economy at the moment, as I mentioned, there could be due to a few factors. This new COVID has come out, apparently. It's affecting the markets. The US inflation, that could be the same. I think that's going to be the same type of points we're going to be touching on. That is going to be going into 2022. The inflation, the news COVID. We're not out of the COVID yet. You know, this is it's still putting a damper on things. Some travel bans. So this is still going to be going in through to 2022. Cointelegraph, another one which could be opposing, same thing that's going to be going into next year. On Cointelegraph, it says things to know and fear about the new IRS crypto tax reporting. And again, we touched on the subject a while back, where they're going to be talking about obviously the tax. You would have to, you know, report it to the IRS, and obviously people aren't happy about it. But the thing is, though, generally when you have been earning a certain amount, you will have to do it on your personal basis. It says the IRS still says that many people are not reporting their crypto, but more reporting inevitably means a lot more compliance. $28 billion worth, right? So remember, cryptocurrency, because it's getting in the limelight, it's creating this hype. People are wanting to lock it down more. The big banks, the IRSs, they're wanting to, they don't want people to just earn these big amounts of money. They want to be having this compliance, and that's again what we've been talking about. People are trying to regulate it. They're trying to, you know, comply it, make sure you have to review your earnings. So that is definitely going to be more in the limelight, and it is definitely not going to go away. There's no real way they want us to get out of it. There's no point us somebody investing $2,000, which I have seen and heard of, someone investing $2,000 and making $2 million, okay, from that investment in crypto, which is crazy amounts of money. Now, how does people take that money out? You can't just withdraw to a bank account without getting, you know, obviously your IRS or SARS involved, and people, the tax man, are wanting to obviously take some of that money, and if you don't obviously declare it. So this is going to be a lot of concerns with it. Over 10,000 crypto reporting. So they're saying that, it says, for decades, transactions of more than $10,000 in cash have generated a requirement for any business to file an ROS from form 8,300 within 15 days. So a report from a crash transaction, even if you buy a car with cash, more than 10,000, the dealer has to report it with you. So you can see it's no different to crypto, but again, they're going to be now more and more heavily looking into these things because it's now more and more in the limelight. So just something to consider. We need to keep that in mind going into investing in the future, and especially in crypto, because it is becoming the new thing. It's becoming, everybody wants to get into the crypto line, and they're going to be obviously concerned regulating it, especially from the banks and your ROS. So something just to look at, but this could also be affecting, you know, people could be a bit more concerned, a bit more worried, maybe coming out of crypto a bit more, using maybe bits and pieces. So there's a lot of things that can affect the market, but I want you to understand as we go now into our analysis and looking at that, is that any investments is risky. Any investments, whether you're in Forex, stocks, crypto, anything can happen at any time. Any news could come out and it could take you out of the market altogether, especially if you're over leveraging and over risking. We need to be going into the crypto, especially the crypto market, because it is volatile, as we can see now with BTC and all most cryptos having that big dump to the downside. It's a very scary thing, and things can change like that. So rather just trade or invest what you are willing to lose. So something to touch on I want to look at is obviously the rate hikes, the inflation with the Federal Reserve and the US dollar. As before we go into our analysis, it says here on Investopedia, the bottom line in general and under normal economic conditions, increases in the federal funds rate lead to higher rates of interest rates products to the US. The result is usually an appreciation of the dollar. So that would mean the dollar is going to be up. Of course, the correlation between the Fed rates and the dollar can break down. Also, there are other ways that dollar can weaken or strengthen. For example, demand for US bonds as a safe haven investment in times of turmoil can strengthen the dollar independently of where interest rates are set. So as we go into just looking at the US dollar for you guys interested in understanding it, this is now the US dollar seasonal tendencies, 33-year seasonal tendencies. And just the dollar we're looking at now, as you can see here, we have November and we have December. We are now going into December month, where it is showing you over those, the 10-year, the 33-year, and the 15-year, is that we have that decrease in price of the dollar. So if anybody understands, most things are correlated to the dollar, especially in Forex, and a weaker dollar could also mean that you'll have your now foreign currencies should be slightly strengthening going into the month of December and possibly to the end of the year. So with that in mind, cryptocurrency, obviously people are getting more and more into it, more in the limelight. And at CoinGecko, again, you guys can see a variation of your major cryptocurrencies, your other altcoins, all right? And you can see most of them here saying, as you can see, Bitcoin, Ethereum are saying buy, all right? So they're seeing that drop, people are saying buy. Now, don't mean that you just have to buy. Yes, because we have dropped down to the lows, it is a better place to buy than buying at the highs. But a lot of these coins have done still quite well, which we will get to now shortly on our trading chart. So let's get into BTC, looking at our major cryptocurrencies, our major analysis. And if we look at our BTC currently, we are now on the weekly time frame. Let's change to the weekly time frame, and you guys can see how we ended on the week. We had that big spark down, right? If we have a look on the daily, you guys should be able to see that this is just one day's candle. We had this push price from 53,640 all the way back down to 42,200. Okay, very, very big drop. And when we were looking at the analysis last week, I did mention that we could make our way at least to 51,500, and you can see we actually sparked right down to our 4,400, which I mentioned we could be seeing. So we have taken that price out, and after a big drop, we could now see a bit of a consolidation. Weekly time frame, yes, we are still bullish, and what I mean by that, we have this area, which is your higher low. We have this area now, which we've sparked to, which is also a higher low. So currently, price is still making its way up, okay? Still making its way up, but we need to consider that our all-time highs was rejected, okay? And if I now take this into consideration and we look at the monthly time frame, all right, we can see now that we've had a huge decline in price, just like that. It's similar, you can see. We've had rejection, price has broken down. Now, if you had to just look at a glance, and a lot of traders that can do analysis and understand analysis, this has the potential, just by looking at this, to be going, price could be going from here all the way back down to our 20,000. It is possible, and it definitely can happen, all right? We need to understand that and have that in mind with our risks before we look at the market. But intraday trading, guys, let's have a look at where price could be going. As I mentioned, we could be seeing price dipping into our 41 region, which we did. Okay, what's going to happen now? Well, since we have wicked and we've closed higher like that, what I foresee happening is price still making its way, possibly slowly down, and having a bit of consolidation. We could just dip below the lows a little bit, and then possibly make our way back up to a retest of around 56. If we do go higher, there might be a chance of us popping above here, but I don't think that is on the cards. I think we're going to have that consolidation back down to the lows. We have this support over here where price is sitting currently now. Okay, you can see where we've wicked to. So what I'm seeing is us move slowly down, possible consolidation around this 41, 42 mark for now, and then we'll have to recess the market and go from there. If we close and we start pushing below this red line, then we're definitely going to be heading to the 32,000, which I didn't mention to you guys. So trend line traders, what you could do is, people would possibly have a trend line like that and see, well, we have broken below the trend line, which is most likely you're right. And we have this area which we have now broken. And again, possibly we could go up first and then start making our way back down. But for me, I think we're just going to slightly bit of a retrace and then consolidate back around 42,000. So that's my analysis. I still have my long-term analysis of us breaking these lows at 28,000 and then going further. So for me, just to show you guys, if you are seeing this as a buy area, all right, you're seeing this area as a buy area, you're buying still at the highs, all right? Yes, prices dipped down, but you're buying at the highs. You're buying around the all-time highs where we were. So it's very, very risky. As you can see, you're buying here, but price can push all the way back down to these levels. So whenever you are wanting to buy, especially if you're looking at the daily time frame, you're wanting price to come anywhere in this discount area. Okay, the lower we are, the better, and that's where you actually want to buy. And then hopefully we can see price break all-time highs. Okay, that's where you're wanting to be buying, in these areas. You don't want to be buying anywhere in these zones, all right, when you're buying, because price can from here can drastically sharpen to the downside, which we have seen. So BTC for me, I still see further downside and maybe come and retesting that 42,000 mark. Ethereum, as we can see, just to show you this analysis, this was still on my charts. I haven't changed it since last week, and I said prices came down. This could be your structure, and from here we could make our way back down to our 34, and you can see how this was definitely achieved. We had this push, rejection, big sharp decline, and price pushed to our 34,000. So what could happen for Ethereum? Well, for me, same as BTC. This week, I don't think we're going to stay like that. I think we're possibly going to have a slight little push up and then seeing the market come back down to retest this level. All right, so that's what I have on the cards for Ethereum. I don't think that our bearish pressure has stopped. I think we're still going to continue into that. Ripple, we should see this across the board, all these spikes to the downside. Same thing if we're looking at our daily time frame. As I mentioned to you guys, I still feel these areas are going to be on the charge, still coming down to fulfill these wicks, and my level where we should and I want to see takeout are these equal lows over here, and our price coming back into our 40 cents mark for Ripple. But our intermediate chart, what could price be doing? Well, we have these levels we've broken. We could see price return back to these highs, all right, possibly consolidate for a while and then start making its way back down to our 50-40 region before we can possibly look for an upside, and that's where I would prefer to buy. Again, looking at the weekly time frame, looking very dangerous as in terms of buying. I wouldn't buy these areas. We are good, but I still see that we've had this rejection. If we look at our weekly Fibonacci, for A to B, so we've got our A to B, you can see our C, you can see our long-term projection is where I have my mark price down at around 50,000. So that's my long-term view for Ripple. I wouldn't look to buy yet, especially as we've seen this sharp decline in price. So stay off the markets, rather analyze and start waiting for at least our daily structure to change bullish, and we are currently in a bearish trend on the daily time frame. So that's our major crypto, guys. Just wanted to show you those two altcoins that we showed you that was linked to the MetaMask Meta, and we can see how these levels, still the same analysis that I had on the charts. I said prices, and levels where we could come to, and you can see with that wick and those price drops, where we wick to. So I don't think this wick is over. I think we're going to come and start fulfilling this wick and making our price back down to our $3 region for SAN USD. And then we have the other one, MANA USD. You can see the same wicks. We've wicked down. Prices potentially broken out of these small trends over here. So we could possibly still see these wicks getting fulfilled, seeing price come back up, and then making its way back down to these levels and trading into this wicks price. So you can see most of the chart ZIL that we were following the other day. You can see I'm glad I pulled out of these. We've had also sharp drops to the downside. We've come back down to these areas of our last supports. There was this one as well, FIL USD, that we were following. Same thing. Okay, you can see, I'm glad I got out of that. I got out of there when it was over the highs, and we can see prices now suddenly dropped to the downside. So very risky to looking for buys. Yes, there are at the lows, there are at good areas to buy now, but we need to I think wait slightly to see, are we getting a bit of a shift up in price? Are we getting a bit of a change? Are we showing a bit of a bullish candle that's pushing up? Right now we are still on a downward pressure. Even though we have these wicks, we need to just be careful. We could be trading back down to those lows first before we can see a bit of a trend to the outside. So Luna, there was another one that we're following, another one I was watching, Luna USD, and I want to show you guys this as well, this wick. So we have a nice bullish structure, but price came into these areas over here. Price has come back. So again, if you are buying at these highs, if you're buying at areas here, very, very dangerous. You can see how just in one day you can get priced out right out of the market. Okay, and if you're investing big amounts of money, you can be taken out like that. So rather wait for price. If this is your trend, okay, and this is your trend line that we have, you want to see price coming back to these zones over here before you start buying again. All right, up here is too high. You can see exactly what happened. Price wicked out. So for me, I want to see a price coming back down, consolidate, change direction, and then you can start looking to see price making its way to the upside. So guys, that's just looking at major cryptocurrencies as a whole. Some altcoins we have been looking at in the past week. So for me, again, whatever your risk appetite, but rather wait now. With the sharp decline in price, anything could happen. We could still see price coming lower for these cryptocurrencies. So we're going to head over to our ILUS coin that we've been following for now some time, and a great project that we have in hand, and going over to poocoin.app to look at our analysis. So not much movement in price, okay, since last week, but I do see that we are sort of gearing up for a breakout, and I do believe that, I want to see price break out of this small consolidation. We haven't broken structure to the downside, and I feel that that this is a area over here where we could see price still sticking in this zone, possibly a small little spark down, something like this, coming a little bit down lower, but then seeing a breakout and then a continue up to the highs of 0.60. So that's what I'm wanting to see on these levels, wanting to see this breakout of the small consolidation. Structure still looking good, and I think we're going to get that breakout to the upside. So guys, ILUS Coin, please have a look at it, see what is happening. Currently now we're in a good area. The consolidation is not a bad thing. I still see price in a good area, and we could have, as I mentioned, that slight downside movement, slightly little bit of a wick to the downside before we see a push to the upside again. So for me, ILUS Coin, still good, consolidation not bad, but again we could see that slight little decrease to around 0.33, okay, and then seeing a break above this little consolidation, retesting now 0.38, okay, 0.38, possibly 40, and then from there we should then definitely break these highs at around 0.48, and then I want to see price move to 0.60. So not much movement in this price week, that's okay, but generally after we see this consolidation and where we're sitting now, we should have that breakout, okay, retest 0.4, and then we want to see 0.6 on the cards next for our ILUS Coin. What is behind ILUS Coin? What is it about? Guys, go over to ILUS Coin on YouTube. ILUS Coin on YouTube. All right. And there's a new video that's just uploaded. And it says ILUS Coin updates Nicolas Link. Now, Nicolas Link is the CEO. Do yourself a favor. Take a look how he is talking about the future, the past of ILUS Coin, what he has on the cards, what is behind ILUS Coin, why is it such a good innovation, what is it about, how are we helping people, why should you invest in obviously ILUS Coin, but just to hear what type of person he is. Again, this is not something where you're putting in money for a pump and dump situation. This is a investment, okay, and especially the way how he's talking, it definitely makes you feel a bit more comfortable. So Nicolas Link, go to ILUS Coin on YouTube, take a look, all right, and it'll definitely put your mind at ease on the updates for future projection on the ILUS Coin. So guys, that's it for this week's news market analysis. Again, big drop in price, rather sit on your hands, wait for it to consolidate a bit. We could have more lower prices on the cards. ILUS Coin, however, we're on that small consolidation since last week. I want to see that breakout to 0.4, and then from there we should see price continue on its bullish structure. ILUS Coin, YouTube. Guys, please like and subscribe our channel for more further updates coming this week, and don't forget to check out ILUS Coin Nicolas Link on YouTube. Keep well, trade safe, speak to you soon.